Hello and welcome to the Parenting Tools podcast. My name is Jason.
And my name is Jordan, and this is the podcast where myself and Jason have a little chat about dad life. It's been a little while since we've recorded, so today we are going to be catching up on the last 3 months.
Is it 3 months?
Yeah, it's been a quarter, as the businessmen like to say.
Sweet, I'm so tired of you. Sweet, I'm so tired of you treating me this way. I'm sick and then I'm...
Well, Jord, so Noah is 5 years old. That's my daughter, for any new listeners. And she is in year 1 at school. And I don't know where this came from. Everyone might think school. But she called me bro the other day.
Oh, bro, this happens to me all the time.
She went, bro, don't do that. And I went, hold on, where did that come from? And without any time in between, she just went, Super Mario Bros.
Oh, that must be it, because my son loves Super Mario, and he's been calling me bro a lot.
Oh, really?
Well.
I thought she just meant the title.
No, I've been getting a lot of bro recently, and bruh.
Bruh. Oh, I haven't had the bruh.
Yeah, a bit chavvy, but yeah, I've been getting a lot of bro. So that explains it, because he loves Super Mario Bros. on Netflix.
We are encountering the quick-wittedness of my daughter a bit more now, and we had a birthday party to go to the other week on a Saturday, and it was a cowboy-themed party. Fantastic. And she was like, when are we going to Smith's? And we were like, we're not going to Smith's. No cowboy stuff there. And she just went, Woody?
Oh yeah, of course.
I was like, you've got me there.
You moron.
I'm not sure his hat's going to fit you, but yeah.
Oh mate, that's funny. That's funny. So 5. Is she in year 1 now?
Yeah.
Oh mate, that's come around so quickly, hasn't it?
It has. And you talk about like you feel old when your kids get older, but now like we just have a full-on child in the house.
Yeah.
And we are definitely approaching the days where I'm less confident about the things that I know.
Oh
like
yeah.
Soon I'm going to be just going, no, can you just check that I'm right? Is this right?
Yeah. I'm not very good at maths. I think maybe long-time listeners would know this. I'm not very good at maths. My son, on the other hand, very good at maths. We're finding that he's quite talented with numbers. And so me, at 34 years old now, I've been having competitions, times tables competitions with him, where my wife shouts out 7 times 8, and me and this child battle to see who can get there first. And he, more often than not, he comes out on top. Yeah.
There's definitely an age, isn't there, when you begin to decline.
Oh, I think it was 19 for me.
But also, like, you don't store all those like mental maths in your head. That's what it needs to be called, isn't it? That's what it's mental maths, mental arithmetic,
mental maths. Yeah,
mental maths. Yeah, I used to be really great at the times tables. I even had one on the back of my pencil case. Maybe that's why I was so good.
Oh yeah. No, I've never been good at maths really. Not so good. Not so good at maths. But just mentioned, I recently turned 34 in September. And again, we've mentioned already, it's been a little while since we've recorded. So what I want to know, Jace, from you, we can do it tennis style, we can bat it back. 3 things that have happened since recording last. We released an episode last week with Martin and Anna Smith.
We did.
Which, when did we do that? September?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, absolute wonderful couple.
Really, really lovely. And amazing coffee.
Yeah, we had a great time, didn't we?
Yeah, it was
going
really
down
nice.
to Brighton. And we've got to give a big shout out to our camera film creator, Sarah Cogden, who did an amazing job on the visuals.
Absolutely. Camera film creator.
Yeah. She'll tell me off if I say videographer. So
She's a storyteller, George, I think. Is
storyteller, yeah. If you watched it
No,
on YouTube
absolutely, yeah, it's great.
and you thought, oh, better quality than usual. Wow. So, Jace, what's been going on? Give us 3 things that have happened between when we last recorded and now.
Well, I can tell you 3 things that the insurance company haven't done.
Oh, yeah.
That's if you might want to listen to this and then come back to that, because that's a joke for the future. Actually, when we went to record that episode with Martin and Anna, I came home. Me and my wife and Noah stayed at my parents for the night before, and so we'd been away from our actual house for like a full day and night and day. Came out the next morning, walked into the house just to get my laptop, and it was raining in my living room. We'd had a leak from the upstairs ensuite, and I panicked, ran outside, and thankfully my neighbour knew what they were doing, and they were competent, and they could turn the water off, and I just stood there doing nothing. But anyway, so my house flooded, and in the nearly 7 weeks now since that has happened, how many insurance people have actually started work on my house? 0. How many Airbnbs have I stayed in? 4. I think I'm in the 4th
4
Airbnb.
Airbnbs?
Yeah, we're on the 4th Airbnb. And what was annoying, I won't moan about this too much because, this might be your job working for the insurance. But when we went to book this place, we were like, we can't do a week at a time. It's throwing us all out. We've got a 5-year-old daughter. Like, we have to have somewhere for a longer period of time. And so we booked this place for 4 weeks. And the insurance went, oh, no, we've only approved 3 weeks. So by the time we've been in this house for 3 weeks, still no work would have been done on our existing house.
Dear me.
So I'm glad we did. Anyway, that's one thing that's happened. What we've learned, genuinely, is that we could live on 50% of the stuff that we have. We have so much stuff that we just don't need, and so we've had an agreement that we need when we get actually back into our house, we're going to get rid of a lot of stuff, charity shop a bunch of stuff, and just live on less.
What are we talking in terms of like toys, items,
just everything, clothes, stuff, toys, just stuff. Yeah.
So as a parent, then, your house floods. Are you treating this as a sort of, we're going on an adventure? How's Noah been with it? Or is it unsettling and a routine batterer?
So Noah and Em were both amazing with it. I was the one that was like, no, I need my routine. I need my desk and my office space. Noah's loved it. Only when we got here, after about 5 weeks, she said, Daddy, I really want to go back to our old house. And like she misses home. Like, you can't relax as well somewhere else. And it's not quite like holiday because you can't enjoy the time together. Like, you've still got normal life. Like, still got work to go to. Yeah. Still got school to go to. But yeah, they've been great. I've been the one that struggled. I struggled not being in my own space. But again, being in this one longer has helped. But man, if you work for an insurance company, hats off to you. I could not do it.
Do you want to shout out your insurance company? See if we've got any listeners that might be able to help things along. Or do you want to?
Or maybe one to avoid. All I can say is, at the moment, so there's the insurance company, which then hands it to a contractor, which then hands that to another contractor, who hands that to another contractor. And there's this massive chain of events. And every time I call the main insurance company, they're like, oh, no problem, sir. We will raise another complaint. We're on the 5th, official complaint. And I'm like, wow. I don't know. I'm not raising them. They are. And I'm like, but nothing is changing. So.
Dear me. So I mentioned it on our Instagram story that your house had flooded. This was about a month ago, thinking you'd be back in and we'd be back to normal. But yeah, apologies to listeners. Jason's house flooded.
And
what
yeah, it's not a massive flood, but it's become now a much bigger problem because it's been left so long.
Yeah. I came and
But
it
anyway,
stunk.
yeah,
It
it
was
stinks.
Oh, it was grim. You could
Um,
smell it as soon as you walked through the door. Yeah, not nice. Well, in this time, I started a new job. I'd say that's my one change.
Ayo.
Started a new job at the start of August. A bit of not of an ideal, bit. Excuse me, can't even speak. A bit of a not ideal situation where I found out that my job, my previous job, wasn't secure.
Hold on.
Um,
Hold on. Because this is insane. I just need to set that tone. This is insane.
do I go full story?
Yeah,
You
please do.
you know the story. So for the listener, I was on a fixed term contract with my previous job, which ended 31st of July. All the signs and all the things that I'd been told were that is going to be not made permanent, but there are permanent roles coming up that we will ring fence for you as you're an existing staff member. I found out the week before my third daughter, my second daughter, third child, was born, that wasn't the case. So they said, the money's not there for these roles that have kind of been promised. As of next month, you're out. So not ideal, but didn't panic. I've shared this with my church. Actually, I felt a real sense of peace around it, and managed to find a different job. Started in August, and having a lovely time so far. So can't complain. What could have been a very stressful situation was really quite straightforward. It was good. Can't complain.
And that was bizarre from an onlooker, because like understanding the situation and the tight deadlines involved, and you genuinely were just like chill.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. This isn't a Christian podcast, but I think listeners know that we are Christians, and I just felt a complete sense that God was in control, and I believe that He would provide for us as a family, and He did, and it was as soon as far as finishing a job and starting a new one goes, it was as seamless as I could have wanted, really. I've been there now 3 months, and just having a good time. Work with a really good team, settled in.
I think that's incredible, especially because you've got obviously a new baby into the mix anyway. That could cause so much disruption, like for your other kids as well. And then just managing to stay cool and calm. That was massive. So well done.
Yeah, thank you so much.
3-month-old?
Yeah, do you know what? She is an absolute dream of a baby. I think I was a bit worried. The thing I was worried most about starting a new job was, how am I going to have a newborn and potentially sleepless nights and start a new job where I have to learn things, where you just can't retain information, or maybe you can't focus. But she's just an absolute dream. I don't think we could have asked for a easier baby. The last couple of weeks, she started to do the whole thing of, she won't let us put her down. When she falls asleep, as soon as you put her down, she's awake and she starts crying again. You pick her up, she's asleep. It's just one of those things that you've got to, we're still trying to figure out what are the tricks, what are the quirks, what are the little things you can do to help her get to sleep. But I think since she's been born, I think the most she's ever been up is twice a night, maybe.
Wow.
After that sort of like first week, where it's just like all hands to the pump and you're sleeping on the sofa for 6 hours and stuff like that. But yeah, she is as easy as you like, the sweetest little thing, starting to smile now. She tries to laugh and it just sounds like she's choking. So yeah, it's all good. But yeah, like I said, what could have been a really stressful time was made very easy by her being a dream and the job situation being pretty straightforward.
Oh, amazing. Have you found any of those like weird quirks? Maybe that don't necessarily work all the time, but you try all the time.
Yeah. So this was one of the TikToks that we got in trouble. So one of the TikToks where we got in trouble in the comments was, I told a story about our middle child, Myla, our second, how one day we couldn't get her to sleep, and Leanne said, "Look, throw me the cloth, and I'll try and burp her, or Anyway, I threw her the cloth, and it landed on Mila's head, and she just went to sleep. So we started to implement the muslin on the head, and it would just send her to sleep. And then as soon as she was asleep in our arms, we'd take it off and put her down. I think that's where we got in trouble with the TikTok comments. It wasn't explicit enough that we didn't leave it on her face. She was sleeping all night. So that, and again, that works really well. So what we do, if I rock her, and I put the cloth over her eyes, so she's like, I'm Batman. She's like, she's got the cloth over her eyes, and her nose and her mouth are out, and I'll just rock her, and within minutes she's off.
Wow.
But like I said, now the challenge is the sort of putting her down.
Oh, I like putting her down.
So that's something that works pretty well. What else? Honestly, mate, she's a dream. She's a proper chilled baby. I don't. There's not much else we've had to do really. She loves the bouncy chair. Not so keen on the car seat as of yet, but yeah, mate, can't complain.
Oh, amazing.
I'm having a lovely time, really am. People come up to me and they go, "Oh, number 3, how you doing? Oh, sleepless night," and I'm just like, I'm having a great time, to be honest.
So at the moment you're saying number 1 is hard, 2 is harder at the beginning, and then 3 just a breeze.
Yeah. But yeah, 1, like, I think Anna said it, they've got 6 kids, and she said 1 is just, change, and 1 is a whirlwind. And you can, attest to that. Jump from 1 to 2, mental. And that gets harder the shorter the age gap, the smaller the age gap. 2 to 3, I think, because we had a bit of an age gap, so Mila was nearly 4 when Mabel was born. I think that was quite helpful. But like I said, it's all made quite straightforward with her being just very easygoing baby.
Oh, amazing. Well, Jordan, another thing has happened in the last 3 months since we recorded. So Noah came home from school, and she said, "Daddy, can we watch K-pop Demon Hunters?"
Yes, we had this.
And I went, "I don't know." And so that night, me and Em put on K-pop Demon Hunters to do our, due diligence as parents and watch a movie. And I loved it. I had a great time. And then the next day we watched it with Noah, and she loved it. And we've watched it probably about 50 times since. But the songs, have you seen it?
No, we've been asked this, and we have said no, and we've not watched it. We've said no. We've cancelled Netflix because we don't like a lot of what's going on, to be honest, with Netflix.
But you've not watched it, and you then, of course, you don't have access to it. That's different as well.
We still have it, but no, we've gotten rid of it. So as of I think tomorrow, we won't have it anymore.
So the problem is, obviously, you've got the name Demon Hunters in the title, but it's. So do you remember Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man, the animation?
Yeah.
So it's the same studio. It's the same Sony studio behind this, but it's set in Korea. So it's like Korean pop, obviously K-pop, and it's basically this girl band who they have to sing to keep the demons from eating people's souls or something. They frame it a bit nicer.
Child-friendly.
Yeah. But essentially it's, without putting any spoilers, the framing of the story is that, especially in Korean culture, you're taught to keep your like negative aspects hidden and secret, when the whole point is you're supposed to embrace like your scars. Can't really remember what else happens, but it's not bad. It's like, I would put it in a less category. Do you remember when Harry Potter came out and all of the Christians were like, you can't watch it because it's witches and wizards? It's kind of like that, but not even that bad. So I'm one of those parents where even if there's a lot of negative stuff, I'm not going to give a final judgment until I've seen it myself.
Yep.
Anyway, I really enjoyed it. So,
Yeah, I think it's one of those where, like I said, I've not watched it, but I just don't like that term demon. I don't particularly want my kids seeing that as any sort of positive, even if you know, like you're saying, it is all right.
I mean, they don't frame the demons as positive in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's a really soft introduction to something I don't want to expose my kids to just yet. Like I said, I've not seen it.
So do you carry that philosophy through everything? Or is it just in that title? Because there's demons in loads of kids' programs.
It depends. It depends. I think with this it's the whole. I don't know. And this is my thing with Netflix is that they shove everything in your face. The things that they want you to watch are there. So I think, I don't know if you can do this, but I think you should be able to hide stuff on Netflix. Where, like, the K-pop Demon Hunters comes up, for example, you can just sort of right-click it or you can select it and just say hide. Because my kids have been asking me, like Luca asked me what a demon was, and I had to have that sort of conversation. So yeah, that sort of, it takes a bit of the control out of your hands about those conversations, doesn't it?
It does. I think my difficulty is that if you're not going to have those conversations, they're going to have them at school.
They will.
And like literally that's what me and Em had the same conversation. We're like, if we don't have this conversation now, by the time we're ready to have the conversation, Noah's already going to have a framework which isn't the one that we believe in.
Yeah.
And so we just took that approach and that was before we'd even decided whether or not she's going to be able to watch the movie. That was, okay, this was like, so we had a conversation with Noah before we said yes. We said, we're going to watch this and this is why we don't want you to watch it. And we explained. And then when we did watch it, we had to explain why it was different to what we thought it was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you can watch this, but understand when it says that word demon, that's not what we were afraid of. Like not what we wanted to keep you from. This is all made up. This is all make believe. And it's from that perspective where we were like, we have to try and engage it. Now, the problem is you've also got younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't be selective of going, one can watch it and one can't. I think Noah was just like mature enough in her mind to watch it. If she wasn't, we wouldn't have let her watch it. It's like she's got a younger cousin, which we were like, we can't handle that conversation at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's that thing of, I think I grew up in a house where I was told I wasn't allowed to watch stuff, and I didn't always understand. It might have been explained to me, but even as an adult, I was like, I'm not sure I understand what the differences are in some of these things. Because you've got like Lord of the Rings, which was similar, like fantasy, but that was okay because the guy who wrote it was a Christian. Yeah. But in my mind now as an adult, I'm saying I still need to have been explained why one's okay and one's not.
Yeah. One thing as well that's been on my mind, and Luca, my 6-year-old, asked me to talk about this. He said, "Daddy, can you talk about this on the pod?" Movie trailers for horror films, just coming on in the middle of the day.
What? Is that a thing?
That's a thing. So I was watching football recently, and an advert for a horror film came on, and I was a bit like, and my son, like, he's a thinker. Things, play on his mind. He still talks about the Grinch now, this time of year, about is the Grinch good or is he bad? That sort of thing. Like, he thinks deeply about things. And so I was going to him like, look at me, don't look at that. And he turned around just as someone was eating hair on this. Now, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to see someone eating somebody's hair, with a mouthful of blood or whatever it was. Anyway, he saw it, asked why someone was eating that, and I said, that's a bit out of order, really. Anyway, another day, went on YouTube, on our TV to watch, I don't know, something with him. So something that was child friendly. Probably again football. He's really getting into football. Another advert for a horror film comes on, and this time he turned it off. And I'm just thinking, where's the line now? Is it because I'm using an online device, so the adverts are tailored to a 30-something-year-old, and they're not factoring in, actually, maybe this fella's sitting down with his kids to watch something at 2:00 in the afternoon. But yeah, and it's just one of those things where, like, we didn't sign up to watch that. We were just watching football. So yeah, that wasn't. I'm calling on the broadcasters. Get rid of the horror movie stuff in the daytime.
Yeah. And it's difficult because it's things like, so YouTube now, for YouTube Kids now has an opt-in feature. So now you can set your kids like YouTube profiles so it only shows videos that you have pre-approved. So it's not like playlists, it's not blanket videos, it's pre-approved. You can watch this video. And so if you go onto their profile, it will only show you those videos when you go to it together. Yeah.
That's good.
But that's great. And it requires an extra level of admin, which I think is worth it. If you're gonna open that kind of box with your kids, that is definitely worth the safety, as from my opinion. Whereas you've got things like games like Roblox. I was doing some research the other day. They don't have any sort of opt-in or filter system. So if a game has been banned for being inappropriate, it still gets served to accounts where they know it is children running those accounts.
Right. So
it's like, and that applies to things like, even like Netflix. On Netflix Kids, there's stuff on there which you don't want to be seeing the trailers for. Especially if you've got like a toddler. Like having that feature just to hide stuff would be incredible. Or just the other way around, just an opt-in. That would be great. Yeah. But I'm definitely becoming a lot more aware that as a parent, there's a lot more work that we need to do when it comes to these things. And we've always been aware, like you can't just give them an iPad and be done with it. But even now, if you're going to do something together, it's like on like I can't just sit through and scroll through Reels with Noah on my account. I can do it on M's account, and even on my account, it's like I've curated it so it's quite family friendly. But because it knows I'm a male, it's going to serve me stuff every now and then trying to get my attention. So I can't watch that with my daughter, which is sad. But that's like the world that we live in. And there's a huge, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a massive drive of parents kind of committing to not give their kids phones until they're like 16 or something.
Yeah. We're like falling more into that camp. At the minute. One thing that we've done recently is my sister a few years ago bought me a PS1. Oh, and I'm currently in my loft in my office. We've got the PS1 in there, and me and Luca have been playing PS1 games, and it is so much more like child friendly and child appropriate, but also it's just easier. You've not got to download anything. You've not got to wait for an update. You can just turn a game on and play it. And it's, I've really enjoyed doing that as like a bonding thing with him. But it's just safer. It's just, night and day between what we had when we were kids and what we have now. So yeah, I'm really, really like in the camp of I'm going to hold off for as long as possible. And then when they're adults and they have their own kids, I know it's the long game, but they'll thank me.
But it's even the things with like, and I don't want to like kind of doomsday it, but like the developments in AI video in the last couple of weeks with Sora 2, all that sort of stuff. We are quickly entering in. I mean, we're at a place now where you cannot believe most things that you see. Like you cannot take like visual evidence as something to be real or not. And that is a type of world that I feel uncomfortable just unleashing on anyone, let alone my 5-year-old daughter. Yeah. So it's that thing of I would, if she was into gaming, which I wish she was more, I would love to be playing Crash Bandicoot together. But because those games are built to be enjoyed with someone sat next to you. Yeah. Rather than to lure you into a addictive cycle of gameplay.
I think that's my thing as well with it, is that we sit next to each other, we're chatting, we're having a laugh, we're helping each other on the levels. Whereas like he's been asking for a Switch for like a year and a half. And we said ages ago, oh, when you're 7. And now he's 6 and he's like, what? Getting my Switch next birthday. But it's the whole thing of I just don't want him to have his head in the device. I don't mind him being sat next to me and us doing something together in the living room or in my office and it's on the TV. I just don't want him looking down and just having his eyes like blinkered to something in his hands. But I suppose it's crossing that bridge when we come to it. But like you say, the way that I'm pro AI, and I know you are as well, but the way that it's gone recently it's making the world tricky.
Oh, it definitely is. And I think what's tricky about it is that if you put it into a real world scenario, if you were to ask all the governments who are in charge of these things, and if you were to say these things are dangerous and they have the potential to cause great harm, even if you found something where it's not functioning right, either shut this off because I think it's going to cause loads of harm, but you are going to lose the AI race against like China or America. Which one are you going to choose? And they're always, I think, 9 times out of 10, they're going to choose keep it on because we don't want to lose.
The money as well.
Yeah, and so I think we're heading into some dangerous and difficult futures. And it's like when we think about the future that our kids are going to have with like devices and content, it's worlds away from what we are experiencing now.
No, it is. Absolutely is. Well, bringing the tone up a little bit. Since we last recorded, item of news number 2 from me. First one was I got a new job. Second one, I got a new nephew. Well, I didn't get a new nephew. Someone gave me. It wasn't me that did it. But yeah, we had a new nephew. So we had a little nephew 2 weeks ago. I think 2 weeks. Little Arthur.
Amazing.
So it's our family dinners with my in-laws are now just carnage, more so. Because I think, are we outnumbered? We're close to being outnumbered. 6 adults, 5 children. So yeah, so lovely bit of news.
Amazing.
For my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, who they're not to go into details because it's not my story, but their little boy's not been too well. Their oldest. So to have little Arthur come along in the last few weeks has been an absolute blessing, and it's been really joyful. So yeah, that was lovely. And it's one of those, I've said this before, I had a baby 3.5 months ago. Holding someone else's baby it's different. I was a bit nervy. I think I did this a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so that was lovely.
It's not the same.
No, yeah, it's not the same. There's more. What's the word? Risk.
If you drop your own, it's all right. It's yours.
Yeah. There's more jeopardy. So yeah, that's been nice.
Oh, amazing! All right, what have I already done 3 items of news?
You went for flooding.
Yeah.
K-pop.
Oh, Jordan, number 3 for me. I had the Derricks again.
Oh my word. Does Derek's as a reference go back to episode 1?
It must do. I think it's definitely season 1. So I caught the man flu. I think it was actually COVID that I caught. It was horrible. Noah caught it first, and she was like having cold sweats and fever, like lasted a couple of days. And then Em caught it, same thing. And then I caught it. And obviously, I'm the most dramatic because, scientifically proven for men, man flu is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
But honestly, I was a wreck. I'd be like lying in bed, and the only thing getting me out of bed was needing the toilet imminently. I'd literally my paracetamol would literally be like an arm's reach away, and I'd call Em because I had my phone. I'm like, I need my tablets.
Did she tell you to jog on?
No, she came and got them before because she'd had it earlier that week and felt just as bad.
She knew.
Oh, it was horrible. Like, and I tried to go back to work on the Wednesday. Started off in the morning, I felt fine. By lunchtime, I was like convulsing in bed, just shivering.
Are you still afflicted?
No, I feel a million times better. The only thing is a little tickly float. Float?
Whoa.
What are those tickly floats?
Little tickly float.
Which, if you're not of these parts, that means tickly throat.
Do you want to explain the Derek's reference for any new listeners?
The Derek's reference is probably explained well in a sentence I said earlier of needing the toilet imminently. It's might be coming out of both ends, but it's not solid either way.
Oh, wow. All right, moving on swiftly. My third one's more of a serious one. And it brings us...
We are coming back with some heavy hitting topics. I think this is a sign of maturity.
Heavy hit after heavy hit. So, this is one that somebody asked me recently, and I'll come back to the question. But between our last recording, Charlie Kirk got shot in America, got assassinated. Now, allow me to preface, caveat, lay the groundwork of I am not a political person. This isn't a political spiel. I am uninformed and I live in the UK. So I'm far away from it. Obviously, we see a lot now with social media and the internet and the interconnected world. So, we were very well aware of what happened and, we believe why it happened. But from a parenting point of view, what got me about the Charlie Kirk thing was that he hadn't killed anybody. He wasn't inciting a revolution. Like, he wasn't working up a crowd going, let's rise up and do this and this and this. He was just having conversation. And people didn't like what he was saying as part of that conversation. Now, I think what worried me probably even more so than him getting shot, because a political figure getting shot is nothing we haven't seen before, right? It's devastating, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. I think what worried me more was the videos of people going, oh, good, I'm glad. He deserved it. He shouldn't be talking like this. That worried me more, because I'm just thinking, how inhumane is the world that we are living in and bringing our children up in. That was the whole thing was just a worry to me about how am I going to set up my children for this world that shows no sort of line. Where's the line? And the question that I got sent was from a friend of mine. Said, here's a question for you from your podcast. How do you feel bringing up your children in a time of political unrest and war? Yeah, that's my question to you from my friend Caleb. How do you feel about being a dad and bringing up children in this current world in which we live?
So I think one thing that's been helpful as I've been thinking about this sort of stuff for the last couple of weeks is that there is rarely a time in history where any parent is raising their child in a war-free world. There is always conflict. There is always something. There is always war. There is always atrocious things. And I think my desire as a parent to want to protect my daughter from those things is, like, of course it's there. I want to protect her forever. I want to protect her from everything, every inconvenience, everything. And of course we know that's not helpful in every case, but in the case of war, of course you would want to protect your kids from harm. I think what's difficult today is the propaganda machines everywhere are so much more advanced. And all those propaganda machines are very good at their jobs. And so whatever you see, wherever you read it, there's always bias behind it. And the job that I feel is mine as a parent, not quite now, because I think Noah's too young, but eventually will be to help her navigate how to find and like discern truth. How do you find truth without simply saying, this person has told me this, I must take a side? I think having the ability to see humanity on both sides and go, okay, sometimes people are just scummy. That is the reality. And, you know, we do have to stand up for things that are right. But we don't have to stand up for everything. And there are a lot of causes which say they're standing up for the right thing when they're really standing up for Mr. Millionaire over there to fight his battles. And so I think one of the biggest challenges we face, like our kids will grow up in a world that has more wealth, more knowledge than any other time in history. And yet we still cannot solve peace. And so trying to help them understand it is not simply a matter of X, Y, or Z. This is humanity. Like, people are flawed, and it will always be like this. And it's not right. It's not okay. We do have to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves, all that sort of stuff. But it's just that reminder, not that it's always going to be terrible, but in a sense of, like, I have to do my best to raise my child where she can navigate that world. And not, I don't want her getting sucked into the same arguments that we see people who are completely ill-informed, and they get into like rampant debates and like fiercely loyal to one side when they actually forget to see things logically. I don't want her to ever end up in that situation. And so for me, like, teaching skills of trying to find out actual truth, and absolutely you can always have a debate, but no one should get shot over something they've said, even if it is offensive. You shouldn't die. Like, that is not an acceptable world that we live in, with that being the case.
Yeah, I think, mate, some of the stuff you just said there is superb. Like, really good stuff. I do worry about the future for my kids, but also I try to take a stance of, like, don't worry about it, because you never know how it's going to look.
No, and you can't. And like I said, like, it's nothing really is new. Like, if you look back at all the modern world wars, all happened because there was a particular group of people who were stuck in their way of thinking and would not take discussion as an option. They had to be right, and them being right meant harm on a lot of people. And so that had to be stopped. That will happen again. That will happen time and time again. But it's that thing of you can't stress out too much about it. But in the same sense, as parents, you want to prepare your kids for whatever world they're facing.
Yeah.
This is a random tangent. Do you ever see that movie Kick-Ass?
No. With the guy that dressed up as a superhero with the, like, the green. Yes, I think I did once.
It's got Nick Cage in it, Nicolas Cage, and like he plays this role, and he trains his daughter to be like an assassin superhero, and that's just always stuck in my mind. Of like, you have that ability to train your kids to be, like, to enable them for the world that they're going to live in, but don't be Nicolas Cage and go too far.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think, like, you can teach your kids to be kind, polite, and considerate, and that will take you a really long way, which I truly believe it will. But even now, it seems like it won't. Do you know what I mean? All you've got to do is come across someone that differs in opinion, and you can be as polite and as nice to them as you want, but it could land you in trouble.
It's not. It starts even earlier though, doesn't it? Of like, even in reception, it's like, if somebody hits you, like, go and tell the teacher. Like, that doesn't always work, and it's like, you want to know the thing. If they keep hitting you, hit them as hard as you can in the nose. Like, it starts there, and it's like it just progresses.
We had this recently, you know. So my little girl came home from preschool and said that a boy had hit her, and we said, "Oh, did he?" But she's known to tell some tales, or at least exaggerate. So we were like, "Oh, did he?" You know that. Just tell a teacher next time. And she came out and said that he'd hit her again. And then I was putting her in the bath, or I'd got her out of the bath, and I noticed some bruises on her back. And I said, "Do you know how you said that boy hit you?" I said, "Where did he hit you?" And she pointed to where these bruises were. So I was like, right, this isn't on. You know, we need to. So we told them. I said, you know, she's been saying that he's hitting her. They knew the kid. And then she came back a couple of days later and said he'd done it again. And at that point, I just went, I said, is he smaller than you? She said, yeah. I said, just sit on him. I said, if he does it again, just sit on him. And it was one of those ones where, as I'm saying it, I'm thinking, I'm not telling you the best advice here. But I thought, what else can she do? If this kid keeps hitting, I do not want to say to her, hit him back just yet. They're a bit young for that, I think. But just sit on him, especially if he's smaller than you. He can't hit you then, can he? Just sit on him. So I don't know if she has sat on him. I'll have to report back.
Please do.
Yeah.
Well, George, I've enjoyed this. And to the listener, if you've got questions, comments, how to navigate political and difficult conversations with your kids, let us know in the comments or send us a message. We know we think there's no really right answer. Just try your best. That's all
you can do.
We're trying. Yeah.
All you can do. And if you are a first-time listener tuning in, it's not normally this heavy. Try again.
It might be from now on.
Well, you never know. You never know. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us on the socials at Parenting Tools Pod, and we will be back soon with another episode.